Op has dirty roommates who told her that their dirty dishes aren't her responsibility and to only clean her own dishes, so she does and lets her kitchen turn into insect heaven. Posted by a deleted user in 2019. Since Op is a deleted user, if you want to look up this post, it is titled, "Just Do the Dishes That Are Mine?" Have fun with bugs infesting your dishes. I, 27F, have 3 male roommates who are all grad students. I'm in the master bedroom, and they are all on the other side of the house. They're also about 2 years younger than me, so I've kind of fallen into a house mom role. I don't mind it most of the time because I'm like, hey guys, don't forget to do X, and then they do it, but the cleanliness issue is something I really can't get over. When I cook, I either clean the dishes as I'm cooking or soak them in the sink for a little while and then clean them within the next couple of hours. My roommates, nope, nah, they just let them sit there. I got annoyed about 2 weeks ago because I went to make myself some pasta, and there were so many dishes in the sink that I couldn't actually clean my pan. Out of frustration, and probably a little bit of passive aggression, I just cleaned all the dishes and then waited for a time when the guys were home to let them know. Hey, I went to wash a pan earlier, and there was no space in the sink. I know you guys are busy with classes, but there's got to be some way to get your dishes clean within 48 hours of them being dirtied. That way, we don't get this pileup, and I don't feel like you guys are leaving the household chores to me. Them, oh my god, of course, our dishes aren't your responsibility? We're sorry, from now on, you don't have to worry about it. Only do the dishes that are yours. Fast forward to about 3 days ago. Roommate 1 went out of state to visit family, roommate 2 traveled to South America with his lab mates, and roommate 3 was probably at his girlfriend's place. They all disappeared like a whisper in the wind, and I woke up the next day realizing that not only were none of the guys here, but they had also left a bunch of dishes in the sink. We live in the south, and it's just starting to get warm outside. There are bugs, and those bugs get attracted to the grossness left out on counters. It's day 3, and all kinds of gnats and flies are gathering around their dishes. Normally, I'd be so incensed that I'd just clean it all, but you know what? I refuse to wash their disgusting dishes because they told me I didn't have to. I'm not even going into the kitchen right now, it's so nasty. Thankfully, being in the master bedroom means I have my own bathroom, and I've decided, for the hell of it, that I'm just going to wash my dishes in the bathroom sink, which is, surprise surprise, bug-free. Tomorrow, 2 of them get back from their trips. I plan to give absolutely zero craps when they realize this is what happens when they leave all the kitchen work for the woman of the house to do. Update 1 day later. Hey guys, wow, this really blew up. To be honest, I wasn't expecting my post to get so upvoted and commented on, so I'm guessing that means I'm not the only one who's been in this situation. First off, to those of you saying I should just move the dishes into their rooms, that wouldn't be malicious compliance. Nobody told me to move dirty dishes, lol. Also, that would have required me to touch everything, which I truly did not want to do. I'll keep this strategy in mind for the future when I'm in more of a petty revenge mood, though. To those of you who said I was just setting up my house for a bug infestation, it's an old rental house in the woods in the south. Bugs are an unfortunate inevitability that we have to stay on top of. Normally, they kind of hang around the trash can, which is gross, but whatever, it's trash, and I usually spray the can down with Raid whenever we take it out. Either way, it's not my job to prevent the house from getting infested. It's everyone's job. That's the whole point. Anyway, moving on. Because my roommates all came home at different times, you're going to have to know them individually, so here are some fake names. Roommate 1, who went to visit family, is Nathan. Roommate 2, who went to South America, is Luciano. Roommate 3, who was hanging out with his girlfriend, is Sanjit. Again, not real, just trying to keep them distinct so you don't get mixed up on who is who. So, first we have Sanjit, who came home last night with his girlfriend. As far as I can tell, they skipped the kitchen entirely and went straight to his room. This morning, however, I was unlucky enough to be woken up by my cat's claw in my foot at around 7 a.m., so I was very awake and heard them shuffle into the kitchen for coffee. Sanjit said it was effing gross in the kitchen, and his girlfriend agreed. Sanjit proceeded to say something like, "This is why I don't even want to cook in here." It's true, Sanjit doesn't cook very often, he mostly gets delivery. So, I could safely assume that the dishes did not belong to Sanjit. He and his girlfriend left the house not long after I heard this conversation. Next to arrive was Nathan, around 2 in the afternoon. I was actually out in the backyard hosing down my cat's litter box, it's the other part of the house that commonly attracts bugs, when he pulled into the driveway. I heard him enter the house, but I didn't want to be standing in the living room waiting for him, so unfortunately, I didn't see his initial reaction. When I did go back inside, he was in his room unpacking from his trip. But there was still that gross little buzz around the dishware. I went into my room to reassemble the litter box and then started browsing Reddit, as you do. After about 2 hours had gone by and there was zero kitchen activity, I started to get anxious. I've gotta say, some of your comments worried me. They won't care. They're your bugs now, etc. I seriously started thinking, what if they really just don't give a crap and these dishes get ignored for another 48 hours? What if I got myself worked up for nothing? So I actually came up with Plan B. Plan A, of course, was the best timeline, a beautiful moment of clarity where all the roommates recognize that communal living is a team effort and we all have to do our part to get by. Barring that, Plan B would be to wait until all the roommates were home again and corral them in the kitchen to say, look at this crap, all these bugs. You literally left your dishes for over 3 days for me to do, and don't tell me you didn't. There's the bleach, there's the insecticide, get to work. My blood was boiling just thinking about it, and I can be kind of scary for a little lady, so part of me was actually kind of hoping I'd get to do Plan B and let off some steam. Thankfully, at one point Nathan came out of his room and started making a frozen pizza in the kitchen. I heard some dishes clang, the oven door open and close, and the sweet smell of pepperoni filling the air. A few more dishes clanged, and then Nathan started coming by my room. I heard him before I saw him. Nathan, hey up. Me, hey man, how was your trip? Nathan, good, I'm just jet-lagged. What happened in here? Me, what do you mean? Nathan, like, did something happen? Is something rotting in the garbage disposal? Me, you talking about the bugs? I mean, that's what happens when stuff gets left out like that and then everyone leaves town. Nathan, makes a face as if to say, gross. Me, yeah, it's pretty gross. There's cleaning stuff in the cabinet underneath, if you're looking for it. Nathan, cool, thanks. He walked off looking very sullen, like Charlie Brown on a bad day. The nice part of the house mom thing is that, at the very least, when I explicitly tell someone to do something, they do it. So, as pouty as Nathan was, he started cleaning while his pizza cooked. In my head, I was just screaming happy thoughts. I did a little girly happy dance at my desk, I'm all elbows, and allowed myself to relax a little. Not only was Nathan cleaning the dishes themselves, but he was also cleaning the surfaces in and around the sink. He was even attempting to spray the bugs to death. I left him to it and kept browsing Reddit. I considered updating you guys at this point, but not all of the roommates were back yet, and I hadn't actually seen the finished product, so for all I knew, he could have done a crap job. I actually did end up checking the kitchen not long after this conversation. I wanted to make myself some tea anyway, and to my great pleasure, there were no dishes in the sink and very few bugs. We're still basically in a cabin in the woods, so some little gnats and fruit flies are an unfortunate inevitability, but it was nowhere near the thriving community it had been a few hours prior. Luciano, the final roommate, got home around 8 o'clock at night, much later, in a wonderful mood. He's the party boy roommate, and he and Nathan are best buddies who often get drunk together. Our recycling bin is always full of beer cans and empty bottles of booze, and it's pretty much always because Luciano and Nathan stayed up late smoking and drinking. So, Luciano gets back and starts unloading beers onto the counter. I heard him start calling Nathan over for a drink, and Nathan had apparently been asleep, catching up on his jet lag, and stumbled out of his room. 2 beer cans were opened. Nathan, Lou, you owe me like 5 beers. Did you make chicken last week? Luciano, probably, you want some? Nathan, no, dude, you didn't wash any of your stuff. It was still sitting in the sink today when I got back. Luciano, oh crap, lol. Nathan, yeah, dude, look at this. I'm assuming Nathan took pictures of the sink when he got back and started showing them to Luciano. This is what it looked like in here. Like, I know the baking sheet was mine from before, but Jesus Christ. Luciano, crap. At this point, Nathan started whispering a little, so I couldn't really make out what he was saying, but I'm fairly certain I heard my name in there. I can only assume it was somewhere between a charitable, we literally just told Op she wouldn't have to do our dishes, and an angry, Op was a huge bitch about it, and I had to clean everything. Either way, whatever, I don't mind being the bad guy when I have a clean sink. A few minutes ago, I popped into the kitchen to make myself some more tea. Everything looked good, thank you, baby Jesus. Luciano and Nathan were out on the back porch smoking, and Sanjit was probably still out with his girlfriend. For good measure, I gave the kitchen another spray with insecticide and wiped it down to dry. The kitchen definitely smells like bug spray right now, but honestly, I'll take it. Maybe the lingering smell will serve as a reminder. I wish I could fast forward into the future and tell you all, and they never left dishes in the sink again, the end, but only time will tell. It seems like the number one culprit here was Luciano, and I'm a little sad he didn't have to face the bugs firsthand. Still, if Big Bro Nathan keeps him on track, we'll be fine. I'm sure some of you were expecting a big blowout roommate brawl, and to be honest, part of me was prepared to argue with someone over this. But I'm grateful that the issue got resolved without too much interpersonal drama. I'm definitely going to keep your strategies in mind for the future, so if this happens again, they'll either find dishes on their pillows or discover that I've hidden all the clean dishes so they can't use them. Thank you so much for reading my previous post and this follow-up, and for being so invested in the outcome. Good luck with all your maliciously compliant endeavors, and for God's sake, wash your dishes.